What's up, family? Jared the Bossman here. You're tuned into the Bossman Show on AM 1010, AM 1430, 1055 The King. Check The King out at 105theking.com and the Bossman Show at bossmanshow.com. Hit me up on Instagram, The Bossman Show, Twitter at Bossman Show, and Facebook, Bossman Show. It's the Bossman on your radio.
Listen to the Bossman Show with your host, JR, Saturdays at 9 a.m. right here on AM 1010, The King.
What's up, good people? BetOnline is your number one source for all your betting needs. The latest odds, lines, and matchup reports for baseball, boxing, golf, and more. BetOnline continues to be the fastest and easiest way to place your wagers, including live betting and your favorite casino and card games available to play right from your phone. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and get in on the action. Remember to use your promo code BELIEVE, BLEAV, for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, where the game starts. Folks, back on the Bossman Show here with Northwestern State Demons. Forkham, Brad Laird here with the Bossman Show. Coach, how you doing, man? Things going down there in Demon Land, man.
Man, I appreciate you having me on. It's always fun to be, especially this time of year. Everybody's got a lot of expectations and, kind of getting ready for the season. And, the last couple of weeks has kind of been the I guess you could say downtime for our coaches. I let them get away. But now we ramp back up. We got a couple of camps next week. We got our players in and just getting ready for August 1st when, I guess true report date for fall camp.
Now, Coach Kirby has been your 6th year being the head man here. And I know you've been there previous stops. Now it's 6th year being the head coach. Kirby has been that long already.
It is funny. It's funny you asked that because, when you look back, it hadn't seemed that long. But man, there's been so much that's going on within those 6 years. When you look at COVID and what that did to not just us, but everyone. And, then you throw in the transfer portal, you throw in the NIL. I mean, a lot of things in college football and college athletics, that has happened over the last 6 years that, to be honest, when I stepped into this position 6 years ago compared to where it is today, how the things that have changed and, how recruiting has changed, how your roster, changes yearly, more so than it ever has. So, there's a lot of different things that go on now compared to 6 years ago. And, but it's great. Looking forward to this 6th season.
And Coach, do you feel like with the NIL and the transfer portal, with their focus being so much on the known commodities now, you can get better high school kids in to help develop and build your program now? Since a lot of FBS people and higher FCS guys are trying to find guys from the portal that find those holes that way, where you can kind of find a good young man from Texas or Louisiana or Georgia, Alabama that's not getting recruited and build that way.
Yeah, and you see that, because one thing I say, I'm a former high school head coach. So when COVID hit and it gave the student athletes at the collegiate level another year, I said at that particular time, that's going to hurt those that are in high school because they don't get an extra year, one. And then two, we didn't take as many high school players because we weren't losing the number of guys that we usually do. And we're probably we're going to be closer this year to getting back to the normal number of high school players that we would normally take. Because my philosophy has been, depending on how many seniors that have finished their eligibility. Last year we had 11. Well, my goal is to sign 11 high school kids, young men, to replace them. Usually that number is 18 to 20 to 25, right? So you're just for Northwestern, you're talking, 12 or 15 high school players that we normally would take that we're not taking. Well, you multiply that by the number of FBS and FCS schools, that's a lot of high school kids that are getting left out. So to answer your question, yes. And for us, I think we're going to see a little bit more normal, hopefully this recruiting class, because we're going to have more seniors that finish their eligibility. So we're going to bring in more high school young men. So, we're still going to utilize the portal. When we lose a guy to the portal, which we've lost guys this year that have went to bigger schools, well, we don't want to replace them with a high school player, because now you're losing maybe a junior or senior, you're replacing with a freshman. Well, your roster is going to get turned upside down. And so when we lose a junior or senior, we want to bring in a junior or senior. So that's kind of been our philosophy. But you do see some high school young men out there that probably normally may go to a bigger school that are still available.
100%, Coach. You know what, Coach? I feel like, it's kind of gift and a curse. I know I was joking with somebody. I said, I guess this new COVID thing, I'll be you left too. So, I'm almost 40 years old. So I got that myself, but it definitely helps you develop that camaraderie, chemistry in your program, and keeps that continuity that you and I know when we have football. That's very important, because when guys know what to do, they can play fast without thinking. They already know what to expect. They usually will play better.
Yeah, and that's what's changed is, fall camp has always been important, as we all know, but now it's, we brought in 17 newcomers in January. All right. So the spring was important to make sure we mix the newcomers, transfers with the existing guys, because just like you talked about, that team camaraderie. Well, after the spring, we may lose some guys, so we're bringing in some more transfers. So fall camp, not only, the X's and O's, but also the team building, because that may be the first time the entire roster is together on the field for a football practice. And so, the fall camp's going to be important to get that team chemistry, that camaraderie, not only on the field, but also off the field, because, my big thing is adversity is going to hit. And just like in a family, and the closer you are as a family is how you're going to be able to overcome that adversity. And that's what we got to continue to build amongst this football team is that family atmosphere, working for one another, because it's only going to help on the field as well.
100%, Coach. And I feel like, I know when I played, when I was back here in Atlanta, I wasn't the best I could be. But I was around my guys in Tennessee, working out with them. I was actually more accountable, because, Coach, when we have a team that are accountable to each other, you don't have to coach the effort and energy. That means you're a good team already, because teams I had where the coach had to really just be like, do this, we wasn't as good. So I think when you're around your guys, hold you accountable, you build that camaraderie, you build that oneness. So when things do happen, turnovers happen, you're still together. When a muff punt, whatever, we know stuff happens in football. So when all those things happen, you already have that callous you're together, and you're one and connected as one man, everybody with the same goal to win this game today.
Yeah, and probably one of our most important, it was our most important hire was this January. I brought in a new strength coach, and because our players are with him and the strength and conditioning staff more so than they are with us. So what we've been able to accomplish from the strength and conditioning staff has really changed our team, because it's held people accountable, just like you talked about. It's developed that team chemistry that he's brought in the weight room and doing the little things right that's going to carry over onto the field. And so the spring has been huge from the strength and conditioning aspect, and the summer, not just getting bigger, stronger, and faster, which we're all trying to do, but to develop that team chemistry and being a player-led football team. And I think you see our team starting to trend towards that. Coach is going to put the game plan together, the practice plan together, but just like you said, those players holding each other accountable, that's how you're going to have success when you have a player-led team, and we're gearing ourselves towards that.
And Coach, do you feel like playing quarterback, then go on the defense side of the ball, that you kind of knew what the defense was doing because from playing quarterback, playing receiver, I play receiver, so for me, it was always trying to declare man zone. Well, what are you doing? Doing motion, don't do the motion, figure out man zone, see if you're trying to hide or trying to disguise cover one or whatever like that. Do you feel like that for you being a quarterback, going to the different side of the ball as a coordinator, that helps you on that side of the ball, help your players know what the quarterback's trying to look for and see?
Yeah, I do, because, growing up playing quarterback and then coaching on the offensive side for the first 8 years of my coaching career, and then jumping over on the defensive side, which I've never played defense. And up until 2003, when I became the defensive coordinator, never coached defense. But the head coach at the time, Scott Stoker, went through the same transition. And so he was able to teach me. And I think that has helped carry on throughout my coaching career, playing quarterback and coaching that side of the ball, and then also being on the defensive side. And then also throwing special teams, because I like dealing with special teams because you deal with both sides of the ball. Mm-hmm. You're dealing with offensive players, defensive players. And so that's kind of, as I've become the head coach, have geared more towards the special teams aspect than really offense or defense.
Yep, third phase is so important. I don't think fans realize the hidden yardage, no punts and returns, how that makes a difference in games. Like that third phase is a real phase, and I hate that they're trying to devalue the third phase of that game because I was a return man myself. I like returns. I don't want to be devalued. I know player safety, but it's like, man, that part of the game is important still.
Well, I mean, the facts are 20% of the game is played on special teams. So when you look at the number of plays in a game, 20% of those plays are special teams, and you look at the lost yardage, our yardage gained via special teams. And when you really break that down, the importance that you said you're a returner. My big deal coaching the punt return is let's get a first down. What is that? All right, it's a return of 10 yards or more. Well, I mean, you average that, then you're getting an extra first down every time they punt the football. That's going to add up at the end of the game. That's going to add up at the end of the season. Same thing at kickoff return. So, I think what we have instilled in our players and the importance of special teams, I think has benefited us. And you may not see it initially right out the gate, but over the course of the year, you see where that adds up. You have success.
I also love the field goal block team too. I love that team as well. I love now. I'll be the coach. I was jump off sides sometimes, trying to get a jump. I won't lie to you.
I understand that. Yeah,
that's right. So it was 4th and 7 or so. I would take a more of a chance. It was less than 4th and 5. I wouldn't do it, but I hope the referee and OVC wouldn't. Sometimes they wouldn't call it. So I was just trying to.
Oh man, yeah, because I mean, from when the ball snapped to the ball's kicked you're trying to be around 1.2 seconds. So as you trying to go block it, every split second is important, and you're trying to get that little extra jump. But like you talked about, that can change the momentum of a game. Mm-hmm. Yes, it eliminates them maybe getting an extra point, 1 point, or a field goal, 3 points, but just the momentum change, can really change the whole, the course of the game at that particular time.
And it gets in the kicker's head too. I know sometimes you get in their head, they'll miss wide right. I'm used to coming at the kicker's right legs, but so the other guy come on the left side. So if I get there and force him, he's gonna make a kick. wide right or miss it or try to pull it. So we looked at it as distracting the kicker. If we didn't get the ball, we want to make sure we made the kicker distracted to maybe miss the field goal. And the OVC kicking was not a premium. So trust me, it definitely worked in the OVC. them guys cannot kick word for darn. I'm like, this is what you recruited to kick, but okay. So yeah, man, I love some teams. I love it. You know, my dad was a coach, so my dad had me out there as a young man. So he'll be 84 years old come August. So hope that coach's son, man, is like, it's amazing. Ever since they coach, we watch games. He's talking about inside zone, outside zone, combo curves. He's teasing stuff, Dad. Well, that's what I watch the game, Dad. Well, but he still does it, Coach. He still does it, man.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's great. Does he live there in Atlanta?
He sure does.
Good. That's awesome.
Yes. He tried. I told him, I said, Dad, you can't talk to my sons like this. They don't quite understand what you're saying. Granddad told us this. They don't understand it. They don't understand. You can talk to them in simple terms, Dad. You can't tell them about certain things that we know about.
He's talking to them like he's talking to you.
Yes. yes. He's like, they're 8 and 4. You know, especially the 4-year-old. You don't know what he's talking about. But no, Coach, it's great, man. And I see a good non-con schedule, Coach. You got Lafayette, Louisiana Tech. I know you coach high school ball at Ruston there. Since Steve Austin, Eastern Illinois team I knew do well from the OVC. So I thought how that non-con schedule will help you for that play in conference and down there when you got to deal with Northwest, you got to deal with Southeast Louisiana, all those different guys in the Southern Conference you got to play.
Well, it's I tell you, it's a fun schedule this year. You know, when you look at, you know, opening up and you got Louisiana Tech and Lafayette the first 2 weeks. You know, those are easy trips. You know, a lot of times you recruit against them. You know, being in state, you know, you know, the Louisiana Tech rivalry goes back. Used to play in Shreveport every year at Independence Stadium, State Fair Classic, you know, back in the 70s and 80s. You know, when I was playing, had the opportunity to play them back in 1993 or 1994. So, you know, a lot of history with Louisiana Tech, and then Lafayette. We played Lafayette not recently, but back in mid 2000s, we played them a couple times. So, you know, those are great in-state games. And then Stephen F., you know, who used to be in the conference, you know, and we would always play them at the end of the year, and it was the largest trophy in college football at that particular time. You know, 7'6", you know, Chief that we played for. So, you know, it's good to get that rivalry back. You know, when they left the conference, we didn't play them for a couple of years. So, you know, I think those 3 games to start the season, you know, with in-state rivalries, in-state schools, and then, you know, an old Southland Conference rivalry. So, you know, plus you're playing 3 good football teams. You know, they're gonna test us and show us, you know, what we do well and things that we need to fix before we get into conference.
Sounds good, Coach. You know what, Coach? I really love what you all doing down there, man. I feel like you build something special down there. It's like I say, fans have to be patient when you're trying to build something. The COVID year happened, so I definitely feel like you build some special down there, Coach Laird. I thank you for your time today. Good to chat with you about some football, special teams. I didn't realize special teams got like it got me going, man. we got that together, man. We got that together, man. So
yeah,
I'll just get real soon, Coach. Hope to see you on the recruiting trail in Atlanta here. You're very in town. I'm gonna get your number offline so we can say they contact with each other. So hopefully we'll see you here recruiting, man.
Man, I appreciate you having me on, and look forward to do it anytime.
Thank you so much, Coach. I appreciate you, man.
Yes, sir. Take care.
What's up, good people? BetOnline is your #1 source for all your betting needs. The latest odds, lines, and matchup reports for baseball, boxing, golf, and more. BetOnline continues to be the fastest and easiest way to place your wagers, including live betting and your favorite casino and card games available to play right from your phone. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and get in on the action. Remember to use your promo code BELIEVE, BLEAV, for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, when the game starts. What's up, family? Jared the Bossman here. You're tuned into the Bossman Show on AM 1010, AM 1430, 1055 The King. Check The King out at 105theking.com and the Bossman Show at bossmanshow.com. Hit me up on Instagram, The Bossman Show, Twitter at Bossman Show, and Facebook, Bossman Show. It's the Bossman on your radio.
Listen to The Bossman Show with your host, JR, Saturdays at 9 a.m. right here on AM 1010, The King.